This is an excerpt from a coming-of-age piece that I've been working on. It's probably going to be my next novel, and it's a very short. It takes place on the south side of Chicago, and this is around 1973. Their father simply went about his life ignoring white people. Philip Harper, who described himself as a self-made man, earned his living by providing carpentry work to anyone who could pay, and even sometimes those who couldn't. He also got up every morning before the sun rose to prepare his brochures and parts, going door to door selling Hoover vacuums on the side. Their mother, on the other hand, after seeing her own grandfather be called a boy by white people back in her hometown of Birmingham, Alabama, until the day he died, confronted any white person head-on when she felt they were in any way disrespecting or threatening her or her family. The turning point for then 17-year-old Joanne Marie Harper came on the day when she accompanied her mother, known to her children as Nana Reese, to the market, and the white store owner casually palmed Nana Reese's behind. Before Nana Reese could react, Joanne had taken her balled fist and socked the man right in his temple, hard enough that his wire-rimmed glasses flew off his face and landed in a barrel of flour. To save her life, 2 days later, Nana Reese and her husband moved the family 59 miles west to Tuscaloosa, and for extra precaution, sent Joanne up north to live with her older sister, Brenda, in Chicago. Joanne met Philip when they were young, fell in love, and moved into their first two-room apartment together on the west side. They ate sardines and saltines for dinner in order to make rent. 6 months later, they were married. The children born to Joanne and Philip Harper were Jackson and his 12-year-old sister JC, the first set of twins, then 8-year-old Jasmine, and finally, the second set of twins, rambunctious 3-year-old boys, Jamar and Joseph. Eventually, because of Joanne and Philip's hard work and the money that Philip earned and saved from his years of serving during the Korean War, they were able to purchase their very own house, along with the new St. Bernard pup that JC crowned Brutus. Heaven. That's what the Harpers called the neighborhood they moved into. The lawns and shrubs in Lafayette were kept manicured with sassafras trees whose leaves turned a scarlet purple in the fall lined the streets. Yellow, red, pink, and white rose bushes could be found in front of the backyards of most of their neighbors. When they moved in, they created a piece of history by becoming the first black family to move into the Roseland neighborhood on Lafayette Avenue in the spring of '69. The year before, both Joanne and Philip were protesters at the Democratic National Convention downtown. When the riots broke out that August, between the demonstrators and the police, Joanne and Philip had already worked out a plan that they would split up so that at least one of them would not get arrested and be able to get home to the children. It took 2 days before Joanne raised enough bail to gain Philip's release. While Jasmine, Jamar, and Joseph were too young to grapple with what it meant to move into what had been an all-white neighborhood, JC and Jackson had already heard from their parents about how they were going to make sure their children had an easier life than they did when they were still living in the segregated South. And even though when they moved north, Joanne and Philip, both born and raised in Birmingham in the 40s and 50s, were all too aware of the significance of being the first. The summer before Jackson and JC were to begin the 7th grade, their aunt Brenda had gotten wind of Philip having a love child with a woman to whom he had sold one of his Hoovers. Joanne waited up until 3 in the morning to confront him. The minute Philip proceeded to tug away at the top of his earlobe while categorically denying that he'd had a child with another woman, Joanne had had enough. With Brutus yelping, Jamar and Joseph in their crib wailing from their parents' bedroom for quiet that would not come, JC held and squeezed Jasmine's hand while Jasmine cried, both of their bodies jerking with every curse word that flew from Joanne's mouth. Jackson stood alone in the doorway of his bedroom, He fidgeted with the top bottom of his Batman pajamas with a silent, pensive expression as all of them watched their mother aim and throw first the table lamp that she brought from the neighborhood Woolworths, and then every single Encyclopedia Britannica, the corner of one, stabbing Philip in the balls. With Philip and most of his belongings thrown out, and their mother having locked herself away behind her bedroom door with Jamar and Joseph, JC and Jasmine followed Jackson into his bedroom, where they stayed up the rest of the night. Few words exchanged between them, listening for any sign of their father coming back to the front door. Thank you.
Katrina Croswell from CCA, ladies and gentlemen.